Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial brought to you by ImsTech, and this tutorial is going to be on Cinema 4D. What I'm going to be showing is how to create a particle exploding effect, and the example I'm going to be using is one with a cube, and you can do this with other shapes, other objects, and even text. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is add a flow, and so we add a flow by double clicking and pressing hold of this, and I'm going to press flow. I'm going to add a material. I've got two materials at the bottom already, and the way I did that was press file, shader, and new key. So yeah, I've got this white one here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is add my cube. So I'm going to click on this cube, click hold. You can just have clicked because obviously it's the first option. I'm going to drag this up. So the way I did this was click this four crosses and this green one and moved it up, and then I'm going to add this red material to the cube, and then I'm going to render this just to show you guys how it looks. It is okay at the moment. I'm going to add a bit of lighting, just introduce you to lighting, and we'll go through this in detail in another tutorial, but at the moment just know that there's such a thing as a light object. I'm going to click hold and just add my light. Now you're probably wondering, why on earth has this gone dark when he's added light? Well, by default the camera has light, okay, but when we decide to add light ourselves, that camera light turns off and lets us control the lighting. And the reason why it's dark is because the light is actually under the floor, which doesn't help anybody. So I'm going to click and drag this up, and then I'm going to add another bit of light. This time I'm just going to drag this up and also to the left so we can see different side to the cube. Render this. Some of you probably thinking, well, hold on a minute, you've gone crazy with the light. I don't know, maybe you can raise the light a little bit more or drop the intensity of the light, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. Now this is where the magic happens, as they say. I'm going to click, click and hold, and I'm going to press explode. So these blue options, there's different ones. There's melt, juggle, blah blah blah. You can see them all for yourselves. I'm going to click on explosion because that's quite a cool one. So now this object right here, where my mouse is actually the explosion object, and you can see it's on my objects panel as well. Now the explosion, if I increase the explosion's strength, and I just want to show you guys where the strength is. So if I click on explosion on the appearance panel, which is right here, I've got the object, and you can see the explosion strength is at 0. Now I'm going to increase the strength. Nothing's happened. The reason is because it's not attached to an object. Now I want to attach it to the cube. So what we need to be mindful of, or what you guys need to be mindful of, is that the explosion is the child of the cube because it wants to have an effect on the cube. So what I'm going to do is click on the explosion and I'm going to drag it down to the cube. Now I want you guys to understand that if I move the cube, the explosion object also moves. So the explosion object has moved with it because it's attached to it. So whatever changes that affect the cube will also affect the explosion. But whatever I do to the explosion, so if I click on the explosion and I move the explosion, the cube does not move. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What I'm going to do is increase this in strength. So as I increase this in strength, this breaks apart, which is alright, it's not the best effect. Now, the reason why that's happened is because at the moment, by default, the cube has only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think six sides. I can't believe I actually had to count that. But yeah, it's got 6 sides, so think of it as 6 parts. Now what we need to do is create segments. The way we do this is I'm going to click on the cube, and you can see it says X, Y, and Z. Those are the 3 axes for our 3D effect, or our 3D object. And I'm going to increase the axis, the segment. At the moment it's 1, so I'm going to increase that to, I don't know, 31, or as many as you would want. You can make it 100 if you want. But yeah, just to show you guys, I've just got myself many segments. Now I'm going to go back to the explosion and increase this. Now you can see it's shattering or whatever it's doing. Yeah, so that's quite cool, isn't it? Just going to render this so I can show you the beauty of it. Hit the render button. Yeah, so if I was in amongst this stuff, with all the shadows and stuff going on. Maybe with better lighting, it would look quite cool. Anyway, so we've gone through animation in the past, so let's just go through a task where let's animate this. So I'm going to start with the 0 frame, press the control key on my keyboard, and I'm going to hit the shift, sorry, not the shift, I've pressed the control or command depending on whether you're a Mac or a PC, and I'm going to click on the strength at the moment. So 0 frames, it's at 0%. I'm going to move this to 90 frames, and then I'm just going to type in 100, why not, and then control and click. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my start, and I'm just gonna play this so you can see it's exploding. And the reason it's doing this very slowly is because it's taking time to calculate and whatnot. But yeah, now it's calculated it for the first time. You can see how it's exploding. So you can see there's two ways you can do this. You can have it exploding outwards. You can have it from nothing and then sort of coming together. So that's a task for you guys. Maybe see if you can reverse this whole process. And first thing what we do is 0 frames, it would be at 100% strength, and at the end it would be 0% strength, so it comes back. And also you can mess about with the angles here, and then the speed at which it explodes, and also the randomness at which it explodes. So if you sort of drop the randomness and watch how this explodes. So let's watch this now. It's just exploding in this perfect weird thing. I say thingamajig too much, but anyway, make sure you guys comment, rate, and subscribe. Take care and peace.